It's so important to get your breaths right, especially if you're not well, especially if you've been infected by a virus recently or a very long time ago. After COVID, our lungs have to recover, and that means getting the right gases from the air around us, as well as getting the movement that they need. During COVID, our lungs got a shock, and we need to handle them with care. Many of us experienced that feeling of having an elephant sitting on our chests. How many of us still feel that now, months or even years after the initial infection? How many of us are still suffering from a feeling of a tight chest or pain in the rib cage? How many of us are still breathless by the time we get to the top of the stairs? It's not just because we're fighting a virus or the after effects of the virus. It's because we are not feeding our bodies with the gases that they need from the air. As a long hauler or sufferer of chronic fatigue, you're unlikely to be able to exercise without it exhausting your system and leaving you weak and even sicker. And the absolute beauty of breath and breathing right is that we will create for ourselves many of the benefits of exercise without the after crash. Did you know that the benefits generally felt from exercise are not just from the action of the body, but from the changes in the breath? As long haulers, we need so much help, some which we might have got from exercise if we were able to do it. We need to increase blood flow to our brains, to our organs, and to our bodies. We need to reduce the buildup of inflammation in all of these. And we need to deliberately calm down our fight or flight nervous systems. Because when the body is struggling to prevent itself being overwhelmed by the after effects of a virus, it's in a constant, albeit low level state of fight or flight. The simple, free, and enjoyable way we can do all of this is through a variety of different breathing techniques. We will reduce inflammation by massively bigging up the part of our nervous system that opposes fight or flight. That's known as the parasympathetic nervous system. Mouthful, I know. This parasympathetic nervous system, which we need to feed, enhance, and express, forces us to slow down, to rest, to digest, to relax, and to repair. Through breathing techniques, we will improve blood supply to all our cells by creating more gases in our breath. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxide being the three crucial ones we need more of as long haulers. Human beings are creatures of habit. We need habits, as it would be too exhausting to have to think about everything we did every time we did it. The body and the brain just like getting on with what they're used to doing. They don't like change. They will resist it until the cows come home. We will fall into a habit whenever we can. That's why, in order to get our breathing right to the point where we're getting out of fight or flight, de-inflaming our systems and improving blood flow to our brains and organs, we have to do the breathing techniques more than once a day, and for a matter of weeks, not days. We need to start by doing them regularly so that our brains learn that that is how we breathe. We need to retrain our brains to breathe better all the time. When we practice these techniques, the way we breathe during them will gradually become the way we breathe when we're up and about or asleep and are not thinking about breathing. This sounds impossible, perhaps, or very, very time-consuming. But it is truly amazing how quickly we can learn a completely new habit, whatever it is and whatever age we are. So let's look at how we might be breathing wrongly first. Some long haulers hyperventilate. That is, breath has become rapid and shallow and through the mouth. With this, people are ending up breathing out too much carbon dioxide, which means less oxygen as the two gases work in synergy. Some long haulers feel so tight in their chests and abdomens that they use the muscles in their necks and upper chests to breathe instead of the belly. This isn't good. The main muscle of breathing, the diaphragm, is not being used at all in that type of breathing, and its use is crucial to our health. A good breath is a belly breath, and we're going to deal with this extensively. There are 3 gases that we need to function, and we can manipulate these with our breathing styles. These are oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxide. All are useful and powerful, but in completely different ways. In this breath module, you'll find videos to follow explaining and demonstrating different breathing techniques with different effects on these gases. There are some precautions with breathing exercises. Don't do breathing exercises and consider contacting your doctor instead if you have a fever, if you have moderate to severe shortness of breath and difficulty breathing while resting. If you have any chest pain or heart palpitations, that's the feeling of the fluttering in the heart region of the chest, or if you have new swelling in your legs. Stop doing a breathing exercise immediately if you develop any of the following symptoms: more than very mild dizziness, an increase in the shortness of your breath, sharp chest pain, cold, clammy skin, an irregular heartbeat, very strong emotion, or any symptoms you're concerned about and could consider to be an emergency. So, first, let's start with the long haul lounge breath preparation technique.